Listeners around the world, be greeted. My name is Omar Obwami, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to this podcast. You are listening to Black World Speak. Today I'm hosting this program with Ntigurirwa. Black World Speak is a podcast in which we highlight the ideas, competences, and the narrative and skills of Black communities around the world. Our guest today is one of the best related to the topic of this episode. With Hyppolite Ntigurirwa, we will be talking about peace and resilience. It's interesting you pointing out what you do today, because what you do today and what you did years ago, we've seen it are things like the theater of the oppressed, planting trees. Can you link these things to the process of healing, the process of forgiving?
Yeah, I think so. In 2016, I founded the organization called Be the Peace.
Yeah.
And in Be the Peace, the principle is peace is what you give and not what you ask others to give you. It's not. Peace is what people should be giving, not what they should be asking or complaining about. No. And when I see the organization, I wanted to make it bigger, and it's growing. It's now working in US and Rwanda, and now people are interested in Kenya and Nairobi, where we're sitting, and people in the UK. But what I was trying to say is to invite people to give peace, to be the peace. And being the peace is meaning, and it means to me, whatever I see I don't like, I take action.
Okay.
And I take action to try and do something that can stop the transmission of anger or hate or violence. I do something that I think I'm transmitting love, I'm transmitting peace, I'm giving, and that's the essence of what I do. If I was to go in a village and wipe off the whole street, for example, every day, that would be my action. I wouldn't be transmitting anything bad. And I think people just do it, but they sometimes don't understand the effect of these small things. Your colleague was not taking lifts, elevators. It might be something when I saw it, I was thinking, but actually, why do I take elevators? Maybe I would have saved something, electricity or something, I don't know. But anything we do, if we actually think, why do I do these things? Why am I doing this? And take time to ask that question on every action, it helps. It would change the world immediately. But I think that's the problem. Why do I do things in this way or not the other way? Why do I listen to this? Why do I say this? Why do I do this? Why do I do that? And what am I giving to the person who will be born in 10 years to come? That's what I do, and I not always, of course, but when I do actions, I'm thinking about what am I transmitting, what am I giving, what am I being, and that connects all the activities of Be the Peace, the walk, or the cows we give in communities, or the microfinance that we started for the people, for the village of people who are former genocidaire and the survivors of genocide in Rwanda, in the eastern Bugesera of Rwanda. That those things all are aiming at giving and being peace.
Yeah. Giving peace and questioning oneself. You talk about the theater of the oppressed. I'm coming back to it.
Yeah.
And I got emotional when you talk about it. I remember you said there are people in the audience that cry or they ask for forgiveness and these kind of things. Can you just come back to it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, theater of the oppressed for myself, theater or art has been very, very helpful. And theater has been helpful when a few months after the genocide, I started primary school, and I couldn't even, today when I look back on it, I don't understand how it happened. I don't understand how I could sit in class, even listen to someone just a few months after I came back from the refugee camp, when our house was burnt down and my dad was killed, my family was dispersed, we didn't know where everyone was. And I was in class and was sitting in class. I didn't speak for a long time. But a few years, I could succeed. I don't know how it happened, but I could succeed. And one day my primary teacher came to me and said, "Why you succeed, but you don't talk in class? And you seem to be having problems." And I want to only talk about things that I have seen. Because sitting in class was like sitting in memories. Even today, these things I sit. Sometimes I see someone and it reminds me of a person I've seen being killed 29 years ago now, 9 years ago. And then I told him I wanted to only speak about the experiences that I lived. Well, the teacher was a bit shocked because at age I was probably about 10 and he helped us as children to create a theater club. He gave me a responsibility in that theater club. And that's when, and I was a student at Mukimbagiro School in Rusizi district, that's in southwest of Rwanda. And so that's when I started telling stories, and he could help me to memorize poems and to tell the stories and invite people for peace. And that's where the art, I never went to an art school, but that's where I learned, and I grew up and I learned about Theatre of the Oppressed by Auguste Bois, and I loved it, and I have been using it in my community to invite people to have conversation on really these tough emotions, tough things, and help people to tell their story in a way that doesn't expose them to say, come on stage and tell your story. But also, like if I'm, like for example, I was working with people, God bless them, people who were born as a result of rape in the genocide. And how do you tell someone to come on stage and how do you tell that person to come and tell their story? It's hard. So it's emotional. And what we do, the Theatre of the Oppressed, is very helpful in that sense that it helps people to tell their story through the theatre, through the people they're working with, and also to invite the audience to have discussion and to take action and to perform themselves in the future. So they're performing the self-future. And that's what it has helped me to do, and that's what it also helps me it also helps to ask a question: why do I do that thing? Why do I say this? Why do I do this? So it's a very, very powerful method that I have been using, and I try to incorporate it, actually to mix it, Theatre of the Oppressed, on radio drama, which is the method I'm exploring now.
Yeah. So I think your experience is about peace. You write a book about peace. You meet people. You say your story in front of people. In your view, from your experience, what is the one unique thing that can bring peace to the world? Oh, I know it's a tough question, but yeah.
To me, it's not. It's a tough question, but it's not. If everyone on earth today said, I'm going to be the peace, to transmit peace, to transmit love, to speak resilience, to speak peace, to speak love, to give to meet a person on the street and say, I'm going to be less greedy and help. I'm going to, if you are interviewing a person, if you look at a woman as a person like you as a man, if you look at a person with disability as a person like you, help as you would help your brother or your sister or your partner. If everyone on earth said, look, I'm going to give, to speak love, peace, and I'm stopping my act that harm everyone else, the world would be as a paradise if there's such thing. But I think we are either greedy, we want to be, oh, this is mine. We want to say, oh, you are on your own. If you are sick, you are on your own. I don't care. If I see you as a person, I don't even want to ask how are you feeling? How is your life? And I just do it as a ticking box question. And I think that's the problem. We've become the people who just think about ourselves, and the people who just care, who complain about things, who do not take action. We have become a society of people who just want to consume, who just want not to give. That's the problem. That's what I see as a problem. And I think if everyone was able to ask themselves and stop to ask themselves the important question, that would solve the problem. But it's still, the systems are there. They transmit inequality. They transmit racism. They transmit greedy. They transmit, and we people consume it as if we don't even think.
And every day, every action. Look at the things we've been talking about here in Nairobi. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, and you talk about human rights. You talk about everything, the systems and the people. The systems that have been there, you talk about misogyny. No one hates their mother when they are born. But just because of the media or anything, they become misogynist. They start hating women. Or I can go on and on, but the simple question, the simple solution is everyone on earth stopping to just think about to think about what they have to consume, what they have to eat, what they haven't, but think about what actually they can give, what actually they can give to someone else or to other community, to other people. That would solve the problem. But we don't get there. We're always busy, consuming, but not even 1 second to give. Yeah. And to give, I don't mean just materials, even what you tell someone, what you think, what you write, what you put on Instagram or whatever social media you use. Yeah. So again, it sounds like so bad, but again, there are people who are doing good. But the problem is the consumption has become more than anything on earth. So
I see. So we're going to the end of this podcast. Is there an advice you can give to your younger self or a young people listening to you
now? Well, I think the advice is see the goodness in people. Whatever you're consuming, give love, give peace, speak love, speak peace. Yeah.
Okay.
Hippo, thank you so much for sharing your experiences and your own story. Do you have some last words to our listeners? And please let us know where we can reach you, and maybe on social media or so on, and how our listeners can find your book.
Yeah, I mean, thank you very much. I mean, I think I've said a lot. I think way to find me, I don't know. I use social media, but I'm not too busy with social media. So wherever you find me, when you give something, when you do something, when you give peace, when you be the peace, when you give something good from today and on, think that you are meeting me. Whatever you're doing, if you think you are doing something nice to other people, know that we are meeting there. And to find me, if we meet on the road one day, fine. If we don't, that's good. But my book is called A Boy Called Hippo. If you put it on the internet, you will find it. Some shops have it, some others, depending on the country, or I don't know. But A Boy Called Hippo, that's the book. Maybe the second one will come soon. But thank you so much. And we will meet in every nice kindness things that everyone will be doing everywhere or any minute.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.